Okay, I think we're live. Expand the screen. See if I can see any comments. Yes, I can today. Hannah, if you're here, let me know. See clearly, perfect. So it's just before 9 a.m. If you're here for circuit training with Kim Lazo for the runner circuit, you're in the right place. We will be starting at 9, so this is just to test the technical component to see if you can hear and see me. And then also we'll just be going through the boring administrative stuff. So I will just be reading out a disclaimer before we get started. Again, we'll do an official intro shortly as we wait for people to trickle in. Morning, Hannah. Can you hear me? And see okay? Perfect, thank you. All right, guys, as promised, I will be reading a disclaimer. This is in the description box, so if you're already prepared to go for the class, make sure you read the description box. It has all of our exercises today, as well as right here. All right, so in response to COVID-19, PSP is offering virtual fitness to Canadian Armed Forces members by using social media platforms. The virtual fitness classes tailored to Canadian Armed Forces personnel become accessible to all. Participants who are not Canadian Armed Forces members recognize and acknowledge that their age, health status, and physical fitness levels are unknown, and it is entirely up to each individual to assess their ability to participate in this class. Since it is preferable to consult your physician before beginning any exercise program, we invite all participants who are not Canadian Armed Forces members to consult the Get Active questionnaire of the Canadian Society of Exercise Physiology and its reference document. If you experience any pain or difficulty during the exercises presented in this video, it is recommended that you stop and consult a healthcare provider. If a CAF member sustains an injury during this video, please fill out the CF98. So by continuing this telefitness class, you understand that there is possibility of physical injury and that you agree to do so voluntarily at your own risk. You also assume all risk of injury and agree to release the Canadian Forces Morale and Welfare Services from any and all claims related to your participation in this telefitness class. Okay? Again, if you are a military member and you're on CHIT or MELS, so you have an injury, please talk to our reconditioning department. So Marissa or Jay will help you out instead of participating directly in this class. Okay. I think you can see that hopefully. So just as we're setting up, guys, let's just get our equipment ready. Really, that's not much. It's just an optional yoga mat. This is just for padding. You don't need it necessarily, but I would recommend it. As well, you might see that I am not wearing shoes today. That's an option. You can wear shoes if you'd like, but I find at home workouts sometimes it's good to kind of just be barefoot or in your socks, so that way you can strengthen the muscles that we neglect. Sometimes, especially when we're running, we wear a lot of orthotics or things that help aid our foot arch, but sometimes we neglect actually strengthening those muscles. Perfect. Let me just share this on my feed and we'll get started shortly. So let's just share that. Start watch party. Perfect. All right, thanks Hannah for being there to answer anyone's questions. I know some people will trickle in a little bit later, but we'll get started. As well, I know some people are back to work, so I know some people are going to be watching this later on. So just hi to those people there. Also, if you are new to this class, how it's going to work is we are going to be doing a demonstration. We're going to be doing a warm-up together, the work, and the cool down. Just make sure you have your music ready to go because I won't be playing any. I'm going to encourage you to play that after we get the demonstration going and the workout has started, so the warm-up. For those of you who aren't new to this class, thank you for always showing support on an early Monday morning. As well, congratulate yourself for being committed to your fitness and showing up every time. So good to you guys. This is also day 120 of quarantine. I think no one else is keeping track but me, but that is 33% of the year. Fun fact that no one else needed to know, but keep that in mind, I guess. So as I see some people coming in, basically today is going to be a circuit, a full body circuit. It is tailored towards runners. However, you don't need to be an avid runner to join this class because as you'll see from the goals in the description, everything is actually pretty beneficial for any type of fitness journey you have going on, even if it's not related to running. But that being said, the goals of this specific workout is to improve our running posture, number one. So you're going to see a lot of core and back strengthening, which is going to be important because we don't want to run like this. We want to have our shoulders pulled back and our joints stacked. So that's important. Number two, we want to build resiliency. So we're going to be strengthening our lower extremity. So that way we can stay consistent and injury-free for a longer period of time. And that means we'll get better results in our training overall. And then three, we're going to improve our balance. So that means we're going to work unilaterally, meaning one side at a time. And in running, that's super important because obviously we're taking one step at a time, meaning our muscles have to be strong enough to withstand the load on our joints over time, right? So equal muscle strength on both sides. And then lastly, in any circuit, we want to improve our cardiovascular endurance. So those are the four goals. And with that being said, we'll get started with a demonstration of all 6 exercises today. Only one circuit, but 6 exercises. So number one, you'll see glute bridges. So for this one, instead of doing this as our regular glute bridges with 2 feet, we're actually going to start off with our heels on the ground, feet shoulder width apart, hands to our sides, retracted like this. We're going to come up together, but we're going to lift one leg and then come down. We're going to do that to the opposite side. So up and then down. So just remember, up with 2, down with 1. When I come down, I'm going down slowly versus just dropping. Okay, so that's going to be a lot working our glutes and our hips on that lower leg. Next, we're going to do another single leg exercise called a single leg deadlift with an optional back row. So here we have one foot planted, so let's say my left foot. We can put our hands on our hips or out to the sides. We're going to hinge forward, so really stretching the hamstring here. Option to row up, even if you don't have any weights here. Come back up. Nice and slow for this one. We're really focusing on our posture for our upper body and keeping a slight bend in that planted foot. Okay, that's exercise 2. Exercise 3, we're going to do a lunge, squat, lunge. So how it looks like is lunge, come together, squat, lunge. Now at the end here, we're going to reverse lunge, squat, reverse lunge. So lunge, squat, lunge, forward and then back, continuously for 40 seconds. Next, we're going to do a kneeling lunge sprint. So this one's interesting. It's 40 seconds of work total. So what we're going to do, we're going to get into a lunge position like this. We're going to come off of the ground, so holding isometrically, and our arms are just going to go nice and slow, holding this for 10. After 10 seconds, we're going to go fast, but we're going to drop down. We're going to go fast, drop down. Okay? Then we're going to switch to the next side, going slow, holding an isometric lunge. After 10 seconds, dropping down and sprinting through it, okay, with our arms. So that's exercise 4. Exercise 5, you want to work on that shoulder retraction. So coming down, our hands are going to be like in a T position, the letter T with our thumbs up. We're going to squeeze just like this. See, I'm also getting my knees off the ground as well. So squeezing through our glutes, just like that. Okay, and then for our last exercise, we're going to start off in a side plank position. So elbow underneath the shoulder. You can have the feet stacked or spread out, or even with the bottom knee down. So I'll have them separated like this. We're going to hold for 10 seconds. And as that 10 seconds is done, we're rotating to a regular plank for 10 seconds, then rotating to the opposite side for 10. Last 10 seconds, we're coming back to center, but we're doing mountain climbers. You don't have to go super fast here. Okay, so those are the 6. Let me know if you have any questions before we get started with the warm-up. No questions, no questions. Guys, you have 2 trainers here, Hannah in the back doing the comments, and then me right here. So if you have any questions at all, this is your time to ask. Remember to start your watches before we get the warm-up going. Also get your music ready to go. So we're going to get started by just hugging our knees towards our chest. So warming up the hips just like that. So from the side, pulling it in. This also is going to be a pretty low impact workout because I know if you're running a lot, you kind of want to take that load off the joints a little bit for your strength days. So we're going to kind of get rid of the jumping, not too much running. So here, now we're going to be stretching the quads, but we're going to hinge forward and then come back up, switching sides. So warming up the muscles that we're going to be using today. Use the wall for support if needed. Warming up the hamstrings here. Feel the stretch at the back of the leg. One more on each side. Good. And now just warming up the body a little bit more. We're going to do some high knees. Just like this. See any comments? Keep going, guys. Hannah, you better be doing this workout. Better see your watch ping at the end of this workout. Job, guys. Now we're going to do the same thing, but butt kicks. Don't need to go too fast here, really. Good. And now we're going to step back into a lunge position, and we're going to bring our arms up. At the same time, I'm squeezing my bum, lengthening my body, kind of like a yoga pose. Back leg stays relatively straight, doesn't need to be completely straight, and back up. Coming back with the opposite leg, arms come up. Good. Now for this one, we're going to take a seat on our bum. Let's have our feet forward in front of us, arms to the side, and we're just going to bring both knees to the ground. Think of a windshield wiper, side to side, opening up the hips. So you'll see the hips are often neglected when we work out or stretch. But it's key for runners, right? Because if our hips are not mobile, our knees or ankles are going to take the hit. So let's make sure they're nice and warmed up. We're going to pick a side. We're going to be in a 90-90 stretch. So my torso is facing that way. The angle of my legs is 90 degrees and 90 degrees facing this way. What we're going to do is rotate from one side to the other. And this is more advanced, but we're going to do kind of like a hip thrust up like this, squeezing our butt, rotating, coming up. So remember, this hip thrust part is optional. You can also use your hands here. So you're getting a nice, thorough warm-up before starting our workout. Good. We'll do one more on each side, opening up the hips, working our glutes. Just like that. We're going to stay onto our mat, and we're going to have our chest down. We're going to have our hands in W position, and we're just going to contract, come up, squeeze the shoulder blades together, and we're going to do this 6 times. Nice and slow. Think of pulling those shoulders back. I'm already feeling warmed up, that's for sure. One more here. Good. We're going to be in a plank position next, and we're going to warm up our core by doing a plank, but it's only going to be a 10-second plank. So here, our body is nice and linear. Our core is engaged like someone's going to punch your stomach. Bum is tight. Almost push your palms into the ground and towards your feet. So you're pushing downwards. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Just 2 more exercises before we really get started, guys. So here, let's warm up with calf raises. We'll do about 10 of these, guys. Keep going. Good. Next, and very last, we're going to do our squats. So for this one, just again, pushing out on the knees, because we also want to open up the hips at the same time. Chest stays upright. 5 reps. And 1 more here. Good job. All right, guys, so I'm going to get my timer set up. Use this time to get some water, ask questions if you need to. But I will have a timer in the corner here, so you don't need to feel pressure of getting your own timer. We can do this together as a team. So we'll have 40 seconds for each exercise, 20 seconds rest, and we're doing this for 4 sets, okay? Pretty lengthy break in between. I'm generous, so I'm going to give a 1 and 30-second rest in between each set. So the work is going to be about 30 minutes long. So our first one, remember, is that glute bridge. We're going to start in 10 seconds. So find your mat. All right. So for this one, we're alternating legs each rep. So that way you don't necessarily need to keep track of the time. You're good. Option to also put your hands on your hips, so that way you can kind of understand where you are in space. You can also switch up the movement. Maybe you're like, oh, this one is too easy. Maybe I'm just going to do single leg bridges. That's totally fine. You want to cater the workout to your own personal fitness. Up, down. Good. A generous 20-second break here. Morning, Francois. Let's go. Wake up. Okay, single leg deadlifts with an option of a row. So for this, we'll do 20 seconds per side. So stay on that same leg. Whoop. So that planted foot, you want a slight bend in the knee just to keep the joint safe. And we're switching sides. We don't care whether that back leg is bent or straight though. So see, my leg could be here or it could be bent. That doesn't matter too much, but we want our torso, our lower back, to be in a straight line. Good. All right, guys, we have our lunge to squats. Remember, think of it like a sandwich. We're doing a lunge, squat, lunge. You forget the order. Just remember that, okay? So, we're lunging, squatting, feet parallel. Now we're gonna go backwards. Good. Feet together. Nice work, guys. So we're strengthening our lower body, but we're also doing single leg work, which obviously is beneficial for runners. Come down. Full range of motion. Good work, guys. This one is going to be quite tiring. I'm going to let you know that. So we're doing an isometric lunge first, and then we're going to go into that sprint. So coming up, nice and gentle arm swings. I have a timer here so I can see more clearly, but we're going to drop the knee down and swing our arms as fast as we can for 10 seconds. Let's go, guys. Ooh, that's a long 10 seconds. Good. We're transitioning. Isometric hold. Gentle. Gentle arms here before sprinting. Drop that knee down. Arms go fast, fast. Good. Woo. Heart rate's up for that one. We're going onto the ground next for our prone tees. So we're working our back and our shoulders. Think of the letter T. Squeeze those shoulders down and back. Get those knees off of the ground as well. So that way we're also working our glutes. If you have any low back pain, you can omit lifting the legs up and just focus on the upper body. Adjust accordingly. You can also keep your head facing down. That way you're in better alignment. We got 3 seconds, guys. Good. We're staying on the ground for this last one. Side plank, regular plank, side plank, back to mountain climbers. So keeping a rigid body is going to be essential for this one. Good. So here, elbow is in line with the shoulder. In 2 seconds, we're transitioning to a regular plank on our forearms. I'm going to be facing away for about 10 seconds, starting right now. You got it, guys. Keep it up. I'm going to just peek a little bit. We got 4 seconds before we transition back to center. This time on our hands for mountain climbers. Nice and slow, but contracting our core. Good. And just like that, set 1 is complete. That wasn't too bad. Woo. So you can use that first set to gauge the difficulty level. So maybe that was too easy. Maybe we're actually taking a weight and using that for our single leg deadlift row. That's an option. Maybe you're putting in more work and less rest. We're doing 40 seconds right now, but maybe you're doing 50, right? Adjust accordingly. So we got just under 50 seconds to go. Yes, good reminder, we have a 10K race at the end of the month, so July 31st, I believe, to August 1st. And this is following our 5K from last month, which was really successful. So if you guys want to join, just drop a comment below and we'll get in contact with you personally. Or join our online private running group. That one you have to be accepted into it, but it's like a running community. So if you're interested in that, let us know. Let's get started with our glute bridges, finding our way onto the mat. So up for 2 feet, down for 1. Up, down. Switching sides every time. Remember, if you're finding this a little bit easy, then maybe we're going up with one leg and down with one leg. Up to you here. We just want to be able to control that negative motion at the bottom. So hip extension, slow, 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 down. Good. Stiff leg deadlift with a row. So this is good for runners because yes, we have good posture when you're running, but you're also in a slight lean, right? You have gravity pulling you forward. So this is going to help keep that torso in the proper position. So here, bringing those hips back. My body still stays linear. Try to do equal reps on both sides. So I think last time I did 4 on each side. Try to do 4 or 5 this time around, but we're switching now. Work, guys. Whew. A little bit hard to keep your balance if you look anywhere else but straight ahead or down on your mat. Let me get equal reps. There it is. Good. You should feel that a little bit in your calves, your hamstrings, and your glutes here. Let's get ready for our lunge to squat. I'll do it forward so you can see. Lunging, feet parallel, squat, lunge. Together, lunge back, squat, lunge back. Good. So now I'm going forward. Getting real close to the camera here. A little slippery without shoes, but I'm finding that I get better after each set or each rep. Better contact with the ground. Good. Woo. We got our kneeling sprinters, guys. I'm gonna bring my timer a little bit closer to me so I can time it right. Let's switch sides. So if you started with your right foot forward, last time we'll do left foot forward now. So just nice and easy here. Nice and tall. At the 10, we're gonna drop down. Right now, fast. Usain Bolt fast. 3, 2, 1. Good. We're switching sides. Isometric hold here. Nice and gentle. Before we drop down. 10 seconds. Woo. Good. Woo. That one might seem like we're just working arms, but you're using your core to stay stable as well as your glutes to keep you leveled. Woo. We're staying on the ground for prone tees. So I like to pause at the top for at least 3 seconds. Think of having that thumbs up and bring the shoulders back as well as down. Remember, we don't want that tight chest. We don't want that leaning forward during the run with your shoulders. You don't want it caving in. So let's focus on pulling our arms back, shoulders back. One more rep. Good. Awesome job, guys. We got our planks. Got a mini rest here. I feel like I've been generous with the rest today. So starting on one side, our side plank. Coming up, holding for 10 seconds, getting ready to rotate onto both forearms. Good. Keep the body nice and rigid. Squeeze your glutes. And we're rotating to the opposite side for 10 seconds. I'm gonna guess that's 10. And come up into our mountain climbers. Nice and slow. Exhaling every time we bring that knee in. Good job. Halfway through, we're gonna air high five there. Let me know if you have any questions or comments about anything, guys. And again, just to go into my point about, I guess, being in the house, training without shoes. Obviously, if we're jumping or running and things like that, doing something with support is always a good idea. But right now, we're doing stuff that are low impact, so I don't see any harm in going barefoot. Sometimes, again, like for my shoe, it's a heel in the center. It's a little bit higher to stop overpronation. So I think that's good when we're running, but sometimes your muscles get weak because it forgets how to actively do that on its own, right? So that's why lunges are good without like having a shoe, because I'm actively working to not cave my knee in like this, right? Doing it naturally through this workout. Woo, 15 seconds, guys. And then we're on to set 3, just like that. Did I say 3 and do this? I meant 3. It's Monday morning. All right, guys, let's go. 2 up, and then 1 down. 2 up, 1 down. Good. So you might be wondering how this is going to help with running. But if you lack that hip strength or mobility, again, to take the load, your body's going to compensate by using muscles that shouldn't be taking on all that load. So maybe more in your knees or your ankles. We want all our muscles strong so that way they can work together. Single leg deadlift with a row. So I'm just going to pretend this is a weight here. This is what you would do if you had a weight with you in the opposite hand of the planted foot. So here, coming down, we would row up with the opposite. So you might find that your balance feels a lot better than that first set. And that's a good thing. Try to grip the ground with your toes. Think of a tripod on your feet even. Equal reps on both sides. So that was 5 for me. Whew. Analyze your breathing. Are you holding it? Try to change that if you are. Exhale as I row up. Good. We got our lunge to squat. So I'm lunging forward, trying to keep my knee in line with my foot. So let's say I land like this, a little too narrow. Make sure you fix your footing to be shoulder width apart. I'm gonna get real close to the camera here, so I'm gonna move back. Remember, you can also do this with a weight. So the opportunity to make it harder is endless, really. Back, there you go. Good. Our favorite, the lunge, isometric lunge sprint. So alternating every time. First I had my right foot forward, then I did the left. So now I'm going back to the right foot forward. We're coming up, nice and gentle. Make sure the arms don't cross the midline of the body. Nice and forward. Drop down. We're sprinting. And switching sides, isometrically holding. Just like that. Put more padding on your yoga mat if you need it. Down. Good. So I'm just gonna get ready for that next one. I'm gonna fold it so that next time my knees are not as, there's not as much pain on the ground there. Prone tees. Okay, so maybe you're more warmed up and this is a lot easier. I want you to hold it for 5 seconds instead of 3. Believe it or not, this type of exercise, again, we're working our back, our glutes, but we are also working our core. You'll feel it kind of throughout your body, that full tension. We're almost there, guys. Let's do one more rep here. Good. We got our side planks. Let me try this side. Sometimes I like switching sides to see what feels better. To start off. Good, our body is nice and stacked. Nice and fluid breathing. Rotate onto our forearms. In 3 seconds, we're rotating again to our side plank. And for now, I'm just gonna guess that that's 10. Now we're gonna do a mountain climber. Exhale each time you bring it in. Great work, guys. Just like that. 3 of 4. Done, done, done. I am definitely sweating. Which one do you guys think is the hardest exercise, in your opinion? For me, it's definitely the sprinters, because it almost feels like you're sprinting for real, like with our legs and everything, but really we're just moving our arms. Also, Hannah, remind me to do the quote of the day. It's down there. Maybe at the end of the workout. So making sure we're walking it off, not necessarily sitting down. We don't want to cramp up here. So sitting nice and loose. The cool down is going to feel great though. All right, guys, last set of single leg glute bridges. Up and down. So again, maybe the last set you want to challenge yourself and just do single legs. Remember, keeping that core tight so that way your lower back is not arched. Think of explosively coming up and gently coming down. Explosive, gentle. Good work, guys. Single leg deadlifts with a row. If you are doing this and having trouble with the balance, again, there's no harm in holding on to that wall, right? To get used to that movement, which is new for a lot of people. So here, hinging, rowing up. So it's like you're trying to bring your hips to the back wall as much as you can. Not really bending at the back at all. I'm just bringing the hips back. And we're switching. Again, keeping even reps. You see balance also sometimes not as good when you start getting tired, fatigued. So you want to train to improve that. One more here. Good. Lunge to squat. Do it from this angle. All right. Lunging forward. Squatting down. Left foot lunging forward. So it's not necessarily about speed here, guys. You want to just make sure that we're doing it with proper form. So if I was carrying a weight, maybe you could hold it at the center, or you could do it unilaterally with just one side, right? Different ways to change. Good. Favorites. Especially after the lunges, this one definitely burns a little bit more. We got our timer going. So now we're switching legs again. Isometrically holding, so we're not moving our legs at all, just the arms. I'm going to put some padding and drop down sprint. Good, and we're switching sides, holding. Arms stay nice and loose, and drop down and fast. Engage that glute to keep you nice and straight. Woo. Good job, everyone. Let's get that mat back down. So you are prone, tees. Last two exercises here. Again, we're holding 3 to 5 seconds. Maybe if this is new to you, you're just focused on pulsing. Whatever level you're at, good job. We only have 20 seconds to go. Good job, guys. And the best sound is coming up. This sound. Good. Let's stay on the mat for our side planks. And option again to do Tabata. Not needed because this is a great workout, but we'll see how everyone's feeling. Side plank. And we're rotating to both forearms. Keep squeezing your bum, making sure you're in line. 3, 2, 1. We're switching. And I guess that's 10. We're gonna meet in a plank on our hands to do those mountain climbers nice and slow. Great work, team. We're gonna fist pump this time. Do you like those sound effects? All right. So grab some water. Let's walk it off. My watch tells me that was about 250 calories. And it's only been a 30-minute workout, so that's pretty effective. Again, circuit training is really good for burning calories, but also strengthening our muscles in such a short period of time. So, I don't know if you guys can read this. We'll see. But the quote for today is, you must expect great things from yourself before you can do them. So this is actually from Michael Jordan, one of the greats, or the greatest. But basically, I think it's important to be able to believe in yourself and kind of visualize yourself doing something in the future, so that way you can work towards that. If you don't believe in yourself, then you're going to find it so much harder to get there, because even if other people believe in you, if you ultimately don't believe that you can get there, then that's going to hinder your performance going forward. But also, I think that one thing that we can do is also push ourselves out of our comfort zone, because sometimes we actually don't think we can do it, and then we do something and we're like, oh, that was actually not so bad. So at the same time, it's important to visualize ourselves doing something. It's also important to just do it, and kind of push ourselves out of what we think are our physical limits, and impress ourselves actually. So I think you can take that moving forward. And with that being said, we're going to do a cool down. If anyone has any questions, let us know. I'll try to get to them after. Can't see the comments here. But let's start off actually on the wall. I'm going to rotate the screen actually slightly. We're going to need a wall. So first, let's start off by stretching our chest. So this is just because we didn't do any real chest exercises today, but when we run, when we get tired, a lot of the times we hunch forward like this. We're actually tightening those chest muscles and lengthening our back. So we want to strengthen our back, but also stretch our chest. So a doorway stretch or a wall stretch. Let's have our hand back on the wall here, step through, and then rotate the opposite direction. Just going to hold that for about 15 seconds. Definitely feel stretch there. Even if you're just doing a desk job, usually our chest is really tight. Okay, switching sides so it looks like this. Hopefully I don't turn off the lights, but hand comes at 90 degrees. Rotate away. Good, keep holding. Awesome. Next, we're still gonna use the wall. We're gonna do a calf stretch using the wall for support. So let's keep that back leg nice and straight. The closer you get to the wall, the more of a stretch you will feel. And we'll switch sides. Ooh, that side's really tight, actually. Good. Again, using the wall for support if needed, we're going to do our quad stretch, pulling the leg in line with the opposite thigh. And just to remind you, all of our social media links are in the description, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, Southwestern Ontario's page, and then the link to register for the 10K is also in our Linktree link. So switch sides if you haven't. Shake it out. We're going to stretch our hamstrings. So we're going to have one foot forward, and we're going to bring our hips back. So you'll feel it right here. You can use the wall for support again if you need to. Come up and switch sides. So hopefully you didn't put your mat away, because we're going to be on the mat for the next few exercises. Coming up. Then we'll go to the ground here. First, starting off with a groin stretch, heels together, and then pushing down our knees with our elbows. So hopefully you found this workout effective. I know sometimes it's hard to strength train or do exercises that you know are good for you, but if you have a high training volume in terms of running, right? So let's go into a kneeling position to stretch our hip here. So this workout should not make you very sore, which is a good thing in this case if you're going for a run later today or tomorrow. You don't want to feel too stiff and sore. So sometimes on the weeks where my legs are feeling extra sore or just a little bit, I feel like it's a little too much, I like to do full body workouts. Or sometimes you just have to schedule your workout so that the lower body day is not next to another running day. But if you need help with that kind of stuff, like programming, we can help you out. Just reach out to us through DM. Good. And with that, guys, if you have any questions, I'll be around here for a few more minutes. But thanks for coming to the workout. That's the yoga ball, by the way, guys. I'm just going to stretch my shoulders as I wait for any comments. All right, guys. Don't forget to stop your watch and the workout. And I think we're good. All right, guys, I'll check out the comments later. If you have any questions, feel free to just put them in. And take care. Have a good week. We'll see you on Thursday for another circuit training class with one of our other instructors. Thanks for coming, guys.